Welcome back. We've got a big boy box. Look how thick this thing is. It's, well, you could fit shoes in here. From Springfield Armory. This is the TRP operator in 10mm. Coming up next on GBGuns. Inside the box you find this nice case. Zippered case, spot for ID. It has the little eyelets for being able to throw a lock through there. A front pocket, which is plenty spacious, inside of which is our bore brush and mandatory lock, as well as a sample of oil. We also had this nice protective envelope here, which I notice is adhesive on the back, so that if you want to store your documentation anywhere, you've got a nice protective sleeve for it. The documentation comes in this envelope. We open that up and we've got our manual. There we go, some English. Some advertisements, of course, as well as instructions for holster. Taking a look at our manual, looks like we're going to have our black, red, and white. Yep. Went with the illustrations instead of photos this time. It's always an interesting thing to look at to see if photos like this can be more clear, but sometimes it's more difficult to see what you're looking for versus an illustration where they can omit or enhance certain details. So that's what our documentation looks like. Let's get this bag open. Take a look at our gun. Inside we have a slot for a gun, magazine or accessory slots. You can see we have our two stainless mags that come with the gun. Nice, beautiful single stack stainless mags. And the gun itself transported in one of these corrosion resistance bags that actually seals. Nice touch. There it is. Let's get all the other stuff out of the way so we can take a better look at this guy. So 10mm is of course loved for its compactness, makes for a nice small pocket gun. No, just kidding. This is the 911 from Springfield. I just have it here because, as you can see, the color theme matches between the two, and there's actually even some similarities in the checkering, which makes for a nice little pair there. Get the little guy out of the way. Here's our TRP operator. Sharp looking gun. We'll check for clear. It did come with the chamber flag in it, which is nice. I know some people don't care about those. Well, I never care until I end up at a range that requires them. So it's nice to have one that comes with the gun. So the TRP and operator package have been around for a while. In fact, my first pistol was a 1911 from Springfield that began life as a GI 1911. I sent it to their shop and they had a lot of TRP work done to it along with some extra custom stuff, but it's kind of fun to see a 2018 TRP operator package factory. This is a 2004 pistol that I sent to them back then and had some work done on. So what do we get on the current? We've checked clear. We'll stick with our protocol and start at the front of the gun. Got a nice stainless barrel there. Slight beveling maybe. I like the contrasting barrel bushing to black slide. And this right here is a good indicator that we don't have one of those troublesome full-length operating rods to try to fight with when it comes time for disassembly. So I'm looking forward to that. We've got some front serrations for doing press checks. They're good and grippy. We can see we've got night sights that come standard on here. Very subtle, but it will make for a lot easier target shooting in daylight. And then of course we've got tritium vials in there to glow at night. We've got plenty of rail space. Wrapping around the front, we have a little bit of relief here. It looks rather standard for that knuckle relief because this is a full-size gun. I like that the model or trim is labeled, but not in a huge obnoxious billboard style. Now, some people don't like that either. We have relief for the thumb to get to the magazine release. Grab one of these magazines and we'll see if it's a release or an ejection that comes out. Flush fit magazine. And we get ejection. I'm a fan of that in case the magazine is ever dirty or gritty, or the inside of the gun is ever gritty. That helps just a little more in getting kicked out there. And you also have this lip here to pull on if need be. Magazine release is a very stiff button, that's for sure. Of course, our ergonomics and grip is standard 1911. Do want to show you this checkering / serration that's done on both the front and back strap of the gun. It's unique. I like it. It accomplishes the job and it flows nicely into these G10 grips. As you can see from the bottom, the grips are rather thick, and we do have a little bit of a cut there to assist in feeding the magazine in. Got a cat invasion. Since so many of you have asked about Posey the Tactic Kitty, I'm no longer going to fight about keeping her out of things. So safety engages and disengages very easily. It's ambidextrous. We've got an extended grip safety here. That's that little pop out there. Makes it a little bit easier to disengage, and that helps because sometimes, depending on your grip style, you can end up gripping the gun well, but not depressing the grip safety, and then you end up with a frustrating trigger squeeze like that, where it doesn't go off. But that trigger is nice. It's not adjustable. You can see it's got the cutouts there for lightweight and style, and then we've got some ribs on the front of the shoe itself for good grip to show you what that trigger pull looks like. We come straight back to a wall as a standard 1911. Crisp break. Our reset is short. Little spring kicks you a little past the reset. That's how you end up with really quick follow-up shots on a 1911. This groove here is really comfortable for my thumb. I'll tell you that. Help keep your thumb out of the way, or you can do classic 1911 resting the thumb on top of the safety. On the back side, our slide to frame fit. It's very tight, very nicely done. And then coming around the right side of the gun, of course, we don't have an ambi mag release, but we do have the ambi safety. Slide release is for right hand only. See a little bit of relief here to help with ejection, get things out of the way, and we do have a witness window in the top to serve as a loaded chamber indicator. Now that we've got that part done, what do you say we take a look inside the gun? And next up, we'll field strip. So when it comes to field stripping 1911s, I always catch flack regardless of which way I do it, between the folks who say remove the barrel bushing first and that spring, or remove the slide first. I go back and forth depending on what I'm feeling like that day, because guess what? Both methods do work. I want to show you though here in the manual, step 2 is slide stop removal. Step 3, recoil assembly removal. That's after, of course, making sure that the gun is clear, which tells you that taking the slide off first is what Springfield is recommending for TRP operator models. So that's what we're going to do. So the hammer back, we're checking that it's clear. I'm going to pull back until this rounded cutout fits right over the slide stop. A grip like this makes it really easy to hold everything in place. Then we're going to push on that slide stop, pull that out, and our slide comes right off the top. Now you do have all of this spring pressure that you saw bulked up there. You just got to watch out for that. That comes out easy. Now it's really easy with that out of the way to not have to fight on this bushing. Of course, the bushing now doesn't want to turn. It's a very snug fit in there. Might need to get my tool on there. So what we're doing is, with that spring out of the way, there's no longer pressure on here, and you can turn the barrel bushing, and usually you cock to one side for it to unlock and come out. I'm going to grab a tool for that real quick, and get to work on it. Alright, so to clarify what I was doing there, I've got this barrel bushing wrench, which has a commander size and a standard size in the end. That fits over the end of the bushing here and gives you some leverage to be able to pull or push. Turn it one direction to be able to get that plug out, then the other direction to be able to bring the end out. And that right there is a little knob that you're looking to get out of the way so that you can now unlock the barrel and slide the barrel out of the front. Got a little bit of dirt here from the test firing. Grab one of our rum wipes, clean things off here. That is a beautiful piece. That's gorgeous. Very nicely done, Springfield. You can see we've got some polishing on the feed ramp there. Nice heavy duty stainless barrel. Don't have any match 10 mil to fit on hand to drop in the barrel there as we normally do. But, well, we'll see when we shoot it how everything runs. Get the rest of the grime out of here from the test firing. And you can see that it's been electropencil marked that this gun was worked on. It's a 70 series. For those of you that don't know, that means that there isn't the additional drop safety that was put in the back end there for the 80 series guns. A lot of hardcore 1911 enthusiasts prefer this, the 70 series, because well, it leads to a crisper trigger feel. Also have an internal extractor, very classic there. Take a look inside our frame and you can see how clean and simple everything is kept, thanks to it being that 70 series. There is an extra mechanism here to have to push up on that safety. Nice long rails, everything very cleanly done. Very purist 1911 model. Should be a fun time on the range. I'm gonna get a little extra lube on this guy. I'll reassemble on camera here so you can watch while I talk, since it's not in the manual, but it is just the reversal of the assembly process. Get our barrel back in, get our barrel bushing. This is what helps center the barrel in place. It's a very snug fit. Rotate past so that we have room to get our plug in there. Now there are lots of different tools for doing this. I like this one because it's made out of aluminum, so I know it's not going to harm any of the metal because it's softer than any of the metal that's used in this gun. If you end up putting too much force on something or there's any type of disagreement between the metals, the tool's going to lose. And I'm happy with that because the tool is a lot less expensive and easier to replace than any of the gun parts. See if we get our spring to feed back in there. So now your spring ends up unhappy, right, and kind of bunched up like this as you fight to get it back in. That's why some people advocate putting the frame on the slide, or the slide on the frame first instead of going this way. And especially a spring meant for 10 mil is indeed stiff. Let's see if we can fight it. There we go. We're going to hold all that in place, keep that pressure out of the way, make sure that our link can hang down. Slide this back on. And now that we've gotten it that far, we know the spring is in place. We're going to look for that link to hang down. Get that worked in place. You don't want to push too far on your slide stop until you're there with the window, and then snap it in. This is how you end up damaging the frame and getting that stupid, the idiot smile they call it, but you know, it just kind of happens with use. Sometimes they like to go in without any force or risk, sometimes not. Use the magazine to stamp it in there, and now everything's back together. So for shooting this thing, we have a variety of loads, not quite our full what's for dinner, just because 10mm is, well, it's expensive and it's less common, but it is a fun load. We do have some of that new Spear Gold Dot in that we'll be running through it, in addition to some Rock Island Arms Core ammo and some Cellular and Bellet ammo. But 10 mils a fun round gives you roughly a 30% increase in energy over what you would find in 45, and it's just a neat stout round. Looking forward to taking this out to the range, getting Maddie's opinion on it. She's completely new to 10 millimeter. She shot it once before, so it will be entertaining, of course, to get the newer shooter opinion on these. But good looking gun, nice sharp lines, hard to argue with a 1911, especially one coming from Springfield. So that's the TRP Operator 10mm tabletop. We'll get out to the range and film our shooting impressions. Thanks for watching.